and stay out. Pesky customers, I'm so sorry to be so late with the Friday noontime webcast from Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Make sure things are happening here before anybody even gets here. Yeah, looks like it. Good. Good, good, good. Do that and this. And I think we'll be swinging. All right, well, while I'm waiting for folks to kind of tune in here, which may be a long wait, who knows, let me just tip you to the fact that Mighty Fine Guitars has lots and lots of acoustic guitars for sale. I've had, for whatever reason, a lot of calls recently for people wanting classical guitars, nylon string guitars, wonderful guitars that I know virtually nothing about. My ignorance around classical guitars, nylon strung guitars of any sort, is profound. I know next to nothing. And so keep those cards and letters coming, but the focus here is solidly on steel string acoustic guitars, steel string flat top acoustic guitars. There are a couple of just kind of token arch top guitars in here, one of which is really great, one of which is my own lesson guitar that I got for $300, and it's just kind of funky and cool. And it kind of makes up for the guitar that's out there somewhere that I wish I knew where it was. I wish I could have tracked it. Like a dummy, when I was touring all over the country, I'd play in, every guitar shop I could stop into. I'd stop in and say hello and shake and howdy. A term, by the way, which means something very different in Australia, apparently. I found out when I was there. But I'd stop in, shake and howdy, say hello, and play some guitars in guitar shops all over the country. There was this harmony guitar, probably late 50s, early 60s harmony guitar, that just sounded great. It was fantastic. And Mr. Smarty Pants didn't buy it, saying, oh, I'm too good a guitar player to pay $175, to pay only $175 for a guitar. What a dummy. Good heavens. I think about that damn guitar every week. It was just funky, beat up just right, kind of scratched up and funky and cool. So the closest, and I think about it all the time, and I wish I knew where it was. And if anybody happens to know where a Martin Dreadnought, a D18 from 1967 or so, 67 or 68, serial number 232192 is, I'd love to know where that ended up, because I sold that too. That one I needed to sell to get something else, so that was fair enough. But the one I didn't buy was just dumbitude on my part. The guitar I have to feature for you today. Come on in, everybody. Hey, Espo, good to see you. Chris, come on in. Very good. Let me play a little bit and tell me if the sound is okay. This is a Sparky Kramer. He calls it the Big Sky. It's kind of a double O and kind of a single O. And I've had it on the wrong wall, actually. I've had it on the triple O wall because it looks like a bigger guitar than it is, because the upper bout is so small and the lower bout is kind of medium-sized. I thought, oh, that's kind of triple O-ish. Sat down and played it after it's been in here for a couple of years, and it needs to go. Somebody needs to be playing this. This is a fabulous guitar, and it's marked way down. It was originally $7,200 American dollars, and now it's $6,000 American dollars, and it is quite fantastic. Italian spruce on the top, and watch this. Hawaiian mango on the side. This is not the tree mahogany. If there is a mango analog to the tree, I suppose that's this. But that's Hawaiian mango. And people say, fruitwood, really? Yeah, fruitwood can sound great. I've had a couple of Apple guitars in the shop that were just quite wonderful. This one has a side port, as you can tell. Get your own monitor speaker here. The thing about side ports is that they provide the player, of course, with more sound. But the thought is, in a kind of a general standard acoustic situation in a room, that having sound waves, especially the low frequencies, kind of rocketing out of the guitar instead of straight off the top, coming out at an angle, you'll hear that, the ear will hear that someplace else in the room at a slightly different time, and it'll perceive the guitar as bigger than it is. I don't know what it is, but this guitar has a voice 3 times its size. That's astonishing. I wonder if the bigitude of it is coming through. I say, I wonder if the volume of it is coming through little system here. Hi, Michael Propson. Espo, tell me, is the sound okay? Quite wonderful. Here it is. It's still in there. That's delicious. A whole different overtone stack. I'm not sure this is going to come through on this situation between the gear you're listening on and the gear I'm broadcasting through. I'm not sure that you can really hear that this is unlike mahogany and unlike rosewood. Somewhere kind of right in between. It's got the punch of mahogany, kind of that mid-range punch. But the high strings kind of sparkle and pick up the overtones. Yeah, like rosewood does. See who else is here. Hi, Peter Fairfield. Sounds great. Okay, good. Thanks, you guys. Thanks a lot. Sound is perfect. Great. Good, good, good. I won't touch a thing. Give me some, as they say. Let me tell you about this guitar. Sparky Kramer, he calls it the Big Sky with an E. Sparky Kramer is one of those guys. Years ago, some of you will recall, the Healdsburg Guitar Festival, which occasionally actually even happened in Healdsburg, not too often. At the Healdsburg Guitar Festival, I remember helping somebody load in, just met up with some builder or other that I knew in the parking lot, and helped load that person in his gear, set up at his table. I said, well, I helped you in here, but do you need me to stick around and help set up the guitars on the table? He said, no, let's go over and see what Sparky did. So this builder himself wanted to see, before he even set up his own stuff, wanted to see what Sparky had done. Now the fella is Randall Kramer. He says, everybody calls me Sparky. The only person calls me Randall is my mother, and only when she's mad at me. So this is a Sparky Kramer Big Sky, S-K-Y-E. It's, let me give you the specs. Top is Italian spruce, Back and sides are Hawaiian mango. The scale is 25/5 on the long side of long scale guitar, of standard scale guitar. The nut width is 1 13/16, and that one little 1/16 of an inch difference across here really makes it fingerstyle friendly. It's amazing, but I think we'd all agree that your hand can really tell the difference between a dreadnought width, 1 11/16, or a jumbo, a Gibson kind of width, and the 1 3/4 that is kind of more the OMs and those style guitars that are so very popular these days. 1/16 of an inch wider at the nut, and your hand can really feel it. This one's a 1/16 wider than that. This one goes to 13. Don't even look at it. Well, to continue with the specs are string spacing at the nut is 2 1/4. Ivoroid binding, overlay at the headstock, and the bridge, and the rosette are all Brazilian rosewood. So there'll be no shipping this guitar out of the country. No, no, no. Not by me, anyway. Thank you, no. Tuners are Goto 510s. Frets are Evo Gold wire, kind of in hardness between the regular nickel frets and stainless steel. Side port, fancy purfling. Upper bout is 10 inches across. Lower bout is 14.5 across, which is kind of grand concert, double O sort of side. Excuse me. I'm going to play it some more. Actually, Jimmy, these are, because I tried them both, they're not 80-20 strings, and they're not particularly new. They're not ancient. But still, these are phosphor bronze strings, light gauge, and still plenty bright. Every once in a while this happens. Typically on small body guitars, I tend to string them with 80-20 bronze because I just like the articulation of it and the brightness and the sizzle and the punch and everything. Phosphor bronze strings tend to be a little darker to my ear. So I tend to reserve those for big bodied guitars that really want to rumble, you know. This guitar, I've had it strung both ways, and I went back to the way it came in with phosphor bronze strings. Surprising, eh? Me too. As a fingerstyle guy, I keep thinking that my guitars are going to want 80-20 strings because that's what I generally like on every other guitar that I play that's of a particular size or whatnot. I'm using, on both my guitars, I'm using phosphor bronze strings. Guitars are particular that way. And that's part of the fun, I think, of getting a new guitar, or even an old guitar, trying a guitar you've had for a while. Old guitar sounds so pejorative. A guitar you've had for a while is to try a new set of strings on them and see what it does for the cost of a set of strings and the effort of sitting down and getting the strings changed and watching some Creature from the Black Lagoon or sports or something on TV. Sometimes you get a whole new guitar. Thank you, Rick Ruskin, for that lovely arrangement, which I copped almost note for note. It's Beatles Day, apparently. like coming back home to that big G note down there. Wow, you can really feel the guitar light up. Surprising sound out of a small body guitar. And let's face it, as I've said before, I'll say it again, as we get older, a lot of us get a little wider. We don't fit around our dreadnoughts the way we used to when we were in high school and college. We actually never fit around them particularly well, but that's another topic for another time. Big giant guitars. Much more civilized for playing guitar, where a guitar gets played these days sitting on the couch watching Netflix or sports. It's a true fact. Wow. Glad I did that. And yes, it's on sale, folks. It's on sale. This guitar normally sells for, the asking on this was $7,200. It is now, Etch-a-Sketch fired up again here. What happened? It is now $6,000, and it's a new guitar. It's been in the shop a while, but it's a new guitar. Let's see here. Come on now. What's happening? Sounds new and brilliant. Yes. Vincey, how are you, man? Vincey, excellent. Nancy Paul, very good. All right. Well, unless there are any, if you've got questions as you watch this or afterwards, pop them in the thread down below. I'll get to answering questions as quick as I can. Typically what happens with these videos is I record them here. They go over to the Mighty Fine Guitars page on Facebook. From there to Instagram, and then to the Stevie Coyle music page on YouTube, where things really kind of happen the most. It seems like there's the most kind of traction over there, and there's lots and lots of guitar reviews like this, little guitar demos that I've done over the years. And there will be more, don't worry. But it just occurred to me today, this guitar has been in the shop for a preposterously long time, unbought, and I really don't know why. Maybe people need to hear it more. So that's what I'm here to do, is to get you to hear it. You know, the only problem with this guitar, it's just so ugly. Look at that. Ew. It's preposterous. Fantastically beautiful guitar. Italian spruce top. Lots of hand-worked marquetry on the binding. Brazilian rosewood. I think the fingerboard, isn't the fingerboard Cocobolo? Yes, it is. The fingerboard is Cocobolo. Faceplate and some of the trim are Brazilian rosewood, as is the bridge. Bone nut and saddle, 1 13/16 across the nut. There it is. The Sparky Kramer Big Sky guitar. Come and get it. It's great. If you'd ever like to have sort of a little private session like this on Zoom or FaceTime or Skype, and Skype has the best sound if you still use Skype. It really sounds great. If you'd like to do that, easily done. I set up a little situation just like this. Takes 5 minutes. We can do a little session. You can sort of hear a guitar, ask the question you need to ask as if you were in the shop. So don't hesitate to do that. Give me a shout. Here on Facebook, you can just hit me on the Messenger, Stevie Coyle, or the Mighty Fine Guitars Messenger, Facebook Messenger thing, or at the shop telephone number, 925-268-8226. Sounds hard to remember, but it's not. Think yak, ant, taco. And you can text me or call me at that number, yak, Y-A-K, just like yak. Not yak, but the animal. Yak, ant, the animal. Taco, not the animal, the way I do tacos anyway. All right then. I'll see you down the road. Tune in next week. I never know what's going to come walking in the door, but whatever it is, we'll feature it next week here on the Friday noontime Facebook webcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stevie Coyle, out.